Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern. Happy New Year, everybody. As always, we'll wait for a couple minutes before we get started. I'm excited today. Um, I've got a guest coming on. I got something new. Hey, we're here, Hannah. All right. It's good. You guys are important. Um, let's see who's on here. Tell me where you're from. Happy New Year. If you're listening in de Mexico. This is live. Yes, absolutely. This is live. It's the 9th of January. Absolutely. Indiana, Minneapolis. All right. From Dallas, got some Cowboys in the house. Virginia. All right. From Orlando, Florida. Not to be confused with Kissimmee. Good, good, good. Wait a couple more minutes. Orange County, Santa Cruz. I'm coming in from San Clemente, California today. Um, who's the closest to San Clemente? I think someone said Orange County on there. So maybe Santa Ana. Me. Tucson. Tucson's probably still warm. It's cold here in California, and I know you East Coast people are gonna laugh. I think it's like 55 degrees. That's cold for us. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Who's got the coldest temperature right now? Middle of a storm. Who's got snow? Where's it snowing right now? Anyone got some storm? I feel like there's East Coast stuff happening, right? Freezing in Tucson this morning. What, 60? I guess it's the desert. So it does get cold. All right, wait one more minute and get started. Excited today. Have some guests that are going to join us halfway through. Going to be able to answer some questions. I prepared something a little bit different. So excited to share kind of some of the latest and greatest and just something different. So I'm excited today. Wait, we'll get started and those can jump on. This is recorded as though think if you've been on here before, can you give me a yes if you've been on here before and listened in? A yes in the chat. Yes. All right. Okay. Yes to one of my webinars. Yes, perfect. All right. And those are new. Can you just put new or no? Either one. I hate using the word no, but new, no. Okay, great. All right, great. Well, good. All right. Look, this is interactive. I like to get to the point and but also share a bit about, kind of our message and how it relates hopefully to you and many others. And so a couple things I wanted to share is look, I've got my team on here as well that will answer questions. I'm going to stay after and answer questions when I'm done with the presentation. Um, also, I'm gonna there's gonna be a gift. I've got a gift that I'm gonna give at the end of this presentation as well. It's definitely a valuable gift. It's worth $1,000, $2,000 somewhere in that realm. A gift, so you definitely want to stick it out and listen. My team tells me I'm not good at this. My kids are better than this than I am. But please follow me on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, because I'm old. Instagram, if you're young, apparently. My kids say when I say Facebook, that means I'm old, but I don't feel old. Um, anyways, so that's a couple of things. There's going to be a gift. There's going to be some great content. I have some guests coming on as well. So super excited to be with you today. So to get started, let me share my screen. Let's see here. Share, view. Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Can I get a yes from somebody? Yes, no. Feel like we're good. Yeah. Still no yes. I'm not seeing any yes. You got it? Can you guys
Yeah,
hear me
great. You're
okay?
you're good. You're good. We
Okay,
see it.
cool. Great. Okay, so to get started, as always, I needed to put my disclaimer out there. You can always, we are not accountants, we're not attorneys. We are a trust company, and I'm going to explain what that actually means. We are not a fiduciary, meaning I'm not here to pitch you any investments, any particular investments at all. I'm here to share with you what people are doing in general with their retirement funds, but also because I think just as sexy is a little bit of my story, but also how to find money and how to acquire and look for capital. If you're in this, listening to this for the first time, and if you have a retirement account or old 401k, I'm going to explain how that works. But if you're also listening to this and you're like, look, I have no retirement account, I want to learn about how to get access and or get capital for maybe my investments or businesses, I'm going to talk about that too. It's something near and dear to my heart, and that's what I'm going to jump into actually right away. So I'm going to just share with you a few stats before I jump into this, and I'm going to bring it all together for you. So first and foremost, 97 million Americans have this thing that I'm going to talk about today. 97 million Americans have something that I'm going to talk about here today. Of those 97 million Americans, most likely uh, they understand what this graph means. Now, I might not understand it, but if you're one of the 97 million, you probably know what this graph means. Also, of the 97 million Americans, there's also $4.6 trillion that's involved in this collage of information. Don't worry, I'm building up to it. Um, Something called compounding interest. Just to throw this quick graph up here, and again, I'm going to bring this all together in a second. What is compounding interest? The power of compounding interest. Just a quick example. Somebody at 47 who's going to retire 20 years later, starting with $100,000, who can only save 12. Look at the difference from 8 to 16%. It's four times more almost with that interest rate by compounding interest. What does that mean? I'm going to talk about that as well. My lovely better half with my brand new 7-month-old, Summer. And you want to have a little brand new baby? My first deal, my first real estate transaction. Now, what do all these things have in common? Why did I share all of these things? I actually thought about this. I wanted to give kind of a different presentation today because it was a bit weighing on my heart as I go into the new year, wanting to try to share something in a different kind of way. And what all of this have to do, this collage of information, HAP over there, you see on the left hand side, hope and pray, has to do with my story, but most importantly, also how this can work for you and your story and your journey as far as creating wealth and raising money. So, what does all these things have to do? My why, part of my why, obviously, a big part of it is my family and lifestyle. This was actually just last week, 4 or 5 days ago. Um, but where did I start? I started with that first deal when I was 22 and a half years old, right there in the middle picture. I found a deal, a real estate project that I was trying to find money for, and I didn't know where I was going to find it. And this first deal that I was able to find and flip, that the money came from one of the 97 million Americans that have an IRA who are sick of the stock market returns. As you see, the market going up and down. That's what that graph brings. And of that 97 million Americans, they hold over $4.5 trillion. Why is that important? I'm going to share with you why that's so important. But I can tell you the recipe of success and the what I've been able to create over the last 16 years all started with that picture and understanding where to find money. I had no IRA, I had no retirement account, I didn't know how it worked, and I figured out at a young age of how to actually find capital using other people's IRA funds to flip my first deal. Now, today, I happen to own a trust company that teaches and educates individuals on how to access or how to unlock their retirement funds to invest in what they know and understand. So I put together that collage and that information because those are all different pieces of information that I was able to kind of bring together over multiple years to understand the power of just this, the self-directed IRA. So, when the word IRA comes up, often that's probably sounds like when someone brings up the word CP, brings up the phrase a CPA. People get sometimes bored when they hear IRA. Like, why is this important to me? How is this applicable to me? Well, first, let me tell you, if you're one of those individuals right now that are listening that has an IRA or an old 401k from a previous employer, and I'll talk about some of the other accounts as well, you are one of those individuals that can actually do what I'm talking about today. You can get into and get involved in what I'm going to share with you today. Also, if you're one of those individuals that are listening to this that does not have any kind of retirement account set up, but you're looking to build, to scale, to grow, to flip, to invest, but you need other capital, I'm going to teach you about how the self-directed IRA works. And again, bear with me on this. I got a gift at the end that I want to share with you. And throughout this process, if you have questions, feel free to put it in the question answers. I'm going to answer the question. I got my team on here listening as well. They're going to help gather the questions for the end. But I'm here for those new people and those that have been with me for a little while and heard me before. What to teach you a bit about how powerful the self-directed IRA is. The reason why I had a picture of my brand new daughter and better half is because this simple self-directed IRA concept has allowed me to live my why and create my why and live it to the fullest extent. I never thought that I'd be able to actually learn and build my own retirement account and invest in others using my own retirement account until what I learned. And so, first and foremost, let me explain what a self-directed IRA is for those that have not heard of this. A self-directed IRA is more of a descriptive term. It is not a specific type of IRA. Basically, if you have a traditional or Roth or whatever it may be, SEP or simple IRA, you can convert it or transfer it into a self-directed simple SEP, traditional or Roth IRA. It stays the same rules. It still is a simple or SEP IRA, but it is now self-directed. And self-directed means it's now in control of you, the owner of the IRA, instead of maybe a investment advisor or a broker. Who is this for? A self-directed IRA is not for everybody. It is not for the 97 million Americans. Only 4% of Americans actually self-direct. And that number probably only should be maybe 10 to 15%. The other 80 to 85% of Americans most likely should not be self-directing. They're individuals that are not actively involved and engaged, nor do they want to invest and pick their own investments. They want to have some financial advisor do that for them. The reason why the self-directed IRA is so attractive and exciting is it gives you, the account holder, control and flexibility to pick and choose your investments, unlike you could do at a Charles Schwab or a Fidelity. And again, this is not for everyone. This is for those that are actively involved in choosing their investments. Now, as I talk about this, if you're one of those people listening who do not have an IRA, but want to learn about how to access and get access to individuals that have retirement accounts to lend to you, all of this is applicable. The better you understand this subject, the better you'll be apt to actually talk to people about their IRAs, potentially to be your partners and or lenders. Why is that important? Because when I was 22 and someone lent me my first $60,000 they lent me from their IRA to flip my first deal, and I flipped it in 90 plus days, about 96 days. I gave them back their 60,000 plus a percentage of the profits. Their 60,000 went to 72 in 96 days. That was the best return they had experienced in their retirement account ever in those 90 days. So let's talk about this a little bit more, what a self-directed IRA is and who qualifies for it. So a self-directed IRA and who qualifies for it, it's really anyone who has an IRA. If you're listening today and you have an IRA, or an old 401k with a previous employer, or an old 403b or 457 if you're a teacher or you work for the government and you have some retirement plan that you had with them. This retirement plan, if you've already left that employment, is a bit available for you to actually transfer, no taxes, into a self-directed IRA with a company like ours at Horizon Trust Company. Now, I'll say this a couple times, and I'll go back to it towards the end again. But if you're one of those individuals, and I'm going to give you at the end my email as well, but that just want to understand if your IRA qualifies to do, and I'm going to get to the next slide here, what a self-directed IRA can actually do. But if you're looking to understand your account better, or if you're not sure that your retirement plan actually qualifies to be self-directed, you can just schedule a free consultation, a free appointment with our team, and we'll go over your retirement account, your statement, to tell you if it qualifies. It's a simple thing. We could do it in 5 or 10 minutes and let you know if it qualifies for you to actually have, unlock and have the flexibility to use your retirement account. So anyways, those that qualify for retirement, a self-directed IRA account is somebody that has an IRA, and now that could be a traditional SEP, simple, Roth, etc., all kinds of IRA accounts, or an old employee benefit plan, which would be like an old 401k or 403b. If you're one of those individuals and you have one of those accounts, you qualify, and there's most of you that are new on here qualify because there's 97 million IRAs in the United States, and you're probably in that boat that have you or your spouse, or you might have some like old $15,000 or $25,000 old 401k that qualifies for this, and haven't been paying attention to it. This qualifies for you as well. So why would somebody want to self-direct? I already said for control and flexibility. Excuse me, but what does that mean? Control and flexibility. Now, this is a very short list of what you can invest in with your self-directed IRA. But I wanted to give you an example of what people are investing in with their self-directed IRA. It could be tax liens, promissory notes. You can see in businesses, timber. You can invest in cattle farms and ranches, etc. Private equity and LLCs. The big thing that I'd say about 70% of our investors are investing in some kind of real estate. What is that real estate? They could be lending to somebody. They could be partnering with somebody. And so that is probably, as far as what I see most people doing. And so that being said, we've got at Horizon Trust Company now over $1 billion in assets under custody. We're not a fiduciary, meaning that we don't make decisions for you. We help you make sure that you process your account correctly so you don't make any mistakes, and that you live with all the right IRS rules in your retirement account. So, so I wanted to take a quick break here. I invited and asked some now good friends of mine who are actually doing this today, and I haven't done this very often. Actually, had guests come on like this. Usually, I start this way, and so if you know me well, you know I'm not good at technology, but I'm going to bring on Hannah and Dustin. Hopefully you guys are together. Maybe you're not. You're in different locations, but I'm going to bring on here, and I'm going to go back to this. Yes, you are together. Perfect. Good to see you guys.
What's up, man?
How's it going? Now, these guys are where are you guys at right now?
We're at our office right now, but High Point, North Carolina.
In the
High
middle of a
Point.
monsoon. I think it rained 3 inches today. So
Yeah, it's rained a lot.
Oh man, well I'm glad you guys are here joining me in your monsoon weather. Maybe you're gonna be working all night. I mean, that's not a
Right.
bad thing, right?
I know. I've just
Um,
told everyone all day we drove our boat to the office today. Survived the storm here.
well, good. Well, look, I want to take a pause on this in my presentation here. Obviously I know you came in when I started here, and for those of you that are new here, I'm going to finish my presentation, but it's just nice to have somebody and hear from somebody else that's actually doing what I'm talking about. And I want to try to do this more often if people like it. And obviously, if you don't like it, you can tell them in the chat too. No, I'm joking. They got thick. No, Dustin and Hannah are some of the greatest people, just hardworking people, and I've seen their success as well. Even in this, not just even, but in the trust company or in the IRA self-directed space. And so, many people are investing in real estate and doing all kinds of different investments. Some people are investing in businesses. What I love about self-directing is you get to pick and choose what you want to invest in, and you can do it to scale and grow your business. And so I just wanted to, if it's okay, guys, and we'll probably keep Anna and Dustin here towards the end too for some questions. If people have questions here, we can keep them on, Alex, after this as well. So when I finish up, we can keep them on and ask them some maybe questions that people might have about North Carolina, about their real estate experience. But if you don't mind, you guys want to give us just give, and this is recorded so it's YouTube live, but it's also, we got those listening now, and then it's going to go out to those that registered. So others will be listening to this later on. But why don't you, Dustin, Hannah, can you just kind of give us a little, give all of us a little background on what you're doing currently, and if, as much as you want to tell of your story, because I know you just started a few years ago and are crushing it, but just give us some highlights, and then also tell us maybe how you're using the self-directed IRA space. So go, if that's all right, I'll hand it to you guys
Yeah,
for a minute.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us. First of all, we really appreciate it. And just for bringing us to your community. We love doing like business, life, friendship with you and Jess, and are so excited for you guys. And, your little one and your family's growing, things are doing well, it seems like. So we're very excited for that and appreciate you having us come on.
And we're a little nervous. We're never on Zoom calls unless it's like a meeting, not like but anyway, a little bit of our story. We had full-time jobs 4 years ago. We're a little over 4 years on our own journey here. I was a truck driver. She worked at a doctor's office.
Yeah.
We kind of got started when we had full-time jobs. And I used my 401k at the time to pull loans out. I had enough built up in my 401k. I could pull loans and pay back or whatever, until they wouldn't let me do it anymore. So they told me that I couldn't have a certain number of loans out within a certain amount of time.
And this happened after he paid it back within a year, right? I can't remember exactly how it works.
Yeah, we were trying to finance our next deal with that money. And I was like, hey, I'm going to pay this back, and I need you to just give me the loan back so I can go buy another house.
Yeah.
And they're like, sorry, can't do that.
Really?
So, yeah, so that's when we found you guys' company and moved some stuff over there. And we structured a deal because we're not married. We were able to structure a deal to where I could basically just loan her the money to do, I think it was like our third flip or something like that.
Yeah, we were definitely just getting started. And that was kind of the advantageous thing of not being married is, we couldn't technically lend it to our company because, we were owners in that, and Dustin was part owner in that, and it's Dustin's IRA. So technically he can't touch it. But we could get creative and say, okay, well, technically we're not married. So
and that was just my single entity at the time.
So Dustin was able to actually lend out of that IRA, the self-directed IRA, self-direct to me so that I could purchase the house in my name. We could do the flip that way and then close it and pay it back and continue to utilize those funds. So it's a really powerful tool if you understand how it works. And just kudos to you guys. Like those of you that don't work with Greg and Greg's company and you don't know them, they are incredible. Just a customer service to be able to pick up the phone these days and call a company who does a lot of big things, but have an individual answer on the other end and be able to help you and walk you through. I was actually able to switch over an old 401k that I had just kind of sitting out there, had been dreading it, didn't want to do it. I knew it was going to be a pain. At least that's what I thought. And an individual from Greg's company got on the phone with me, literally walked me through the whole thing and had it done. They're incredible to work with. Even individuals that we've sent that have opened account that now are lending to us out of their, retirement accounts and have converted over to self-directed IRAs, we're able to send them to a company that we know, believe in, and trust, that treats them really good, and able to get them a return on secured investment. So it's a really incredible tool that not a lot of people understand fully to know how to utilize.
And that being said, one of the people that moved over to Horizon Trust came from a different company that he also lent out of. It was another self-directed IRA company or custodian. And there were some issues there with stuff. And when they switched, they lent on a deal yesterday for somebody else that we wholesaled a house to, if that makes sense. So we did a wholesale deal because we've got some other stuff going on. And instead of us taking this property down, we just did a wholesale deal. But because they knew each other, they were able to lend to the other person to buy the property that we were selling. So It worked out
there's
really
so
well.
much you can do with it. It's really awesome. And I don't even know all the ins and outs. I wish I had more time to really sit down and dive into it because it's so powerful. And I get really excited about it because I think it's such an awesome tool. But it's been really great for us and we love working with you guys. But just to kind of give a little more to our story. So, we're I guess 4 years in full time. We just closed the beginning of a year on our second large commercial asset in 6 months. So we purchased in June of last year an 8,600 square foot multi-tenant space. It's 2 stories, has an elevator in it, which I thought was just awesome. It's big time. We got an elevator now. And then we just closed on another commercial building, so we're growing our rental portfolio. We flip full time. We do some wholesaling, hoteling. We do a lot of different things here, but the ultimate goal is to create wealth and to keep as much wealth as we can, which is why I think the retirement fund is just being able to utilize them that way, and being able to invest in something that you understand and it's a actual like asset-backed investment, is so powerful to continue to keep that wealth.
It makes a lot more sense, I feel like, instead of it just sitting around somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, look, well, thanks for all the nice. I wasn't expecting all the nice things. So thank you very much. And what I thought was unique and actually pretty cool is yesterday I called Dustin and Hannah. I was like, hey, tomorrow can you join me? And they said, sure, no problem. And Dustin's like, yeah, actually, one of our investors is actually moving their money and lending to us, in like you mentioned right now,
Yeah.
using
Yeah.
their Horizon Trust Company account over to them. And so real time, these guys are using this, and there is so much more to learn. I'm still learning. I knew, the IRS is always changing the
Changing,
rules on
ever
this too.
changing.
So,
Imagine that.
but what I love about you guys, you guys have figured it out and you're using it to scale your business. And these guys, look, they both, I've gotten to know them over the years that, they both quit their jobs a few years ago, like 3 years
Yep.
ago, right?
It was
Yeah,
four.
right
Yeah.
after, yeah.
Yeah, and so and they're full time this, and I know you guys now travel the world, and
Yeah.
you're living your why, and you've got your
Yeah.
why and why you're working so hard, and it's just great to see, and I know we're just a little piece of it, but I will say I'm not here to promote that Dustin should not marry Hannah. Now they're using one of the loopholes that you can actually lend to individuals. You can't lend to a spouse,
Right.
or to your children or your parents. So this is not a good reason, Dustin, to not, tie the knot.
I'm ready.
She's
I'm
like,
ready. Hey,
so it's
He's
Hannah.
I'm not
ready.
Okay.
ready.
It's me.
I
I
mean,
got a
we,
plan.
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
we got a plan. That's one thing we don't like doing.
Yes.
I'm a little bit joking, but obviously, this scenario happens often where there's partners or partnerships, like in this example too, where I could lend my self-directed IRA or lend to their business or on a real estate deal with them. And that's what they're doing now with other investors and people that they know, on a small scale, but on a scale big enough to actually make some really big profits and do commercial
Yes.
projects now. And so anyways, thanks. If it's okay, I only got a few slides left. I'd actually like to go over those and then go to question and answers. And I think some people might have some questions for you guys too, on maybe what you're doing and some success, and maybe not. But if it's all right, I'm going to keep you on here and just wrap this part up and then go to some questions and answers. But thank
Yeah,
you for
absolutely.
sharing your story. And I actually got a couple more questions for you, but I'm going to wrap this up and then go back to you. So.
All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thanks, Greg.
And don't float away over there. Just stay with me for a few more minutes.
No,
All
we're
right. We're
good.
going to try.
All right. So just a couple other things, because I know there are new people on here, so I want to kind of get into that, and I'll probably use some of the examples that Dustin and Hannah are doing as well. But for those individuals that also have a business or have started an LLC, you can open up and create a 401k, a self-directed 401k. So if you have a business, we can help you actually establish and create a self-directed 401k. And the benefits of that are you're able typically to contribute a lot more money. If you're looking on this call looking to create a retirement account and put more money away, this is one way of doing it. The other benefit as well is you can borrow from it, like Dustin was talking about on his. You can actually borrow from a 401k. You can't borrow from a traditional or Roth IRA. You can from a 401k. So there's a ton of benefits on a self-directed 401k, and I'm going to have Claudia or Alex put in here again in the chat box our information. So if any of you are because I'm not going to go deep into self-directed 401ks, if you're interested in learning how to contribute and put away more money, schedule an appointment with us. If you're interested in learning if your retirement account qualifies to self-direct and invest in what you know and understand, set an appointment. We'll answer all your questions. And so a self-directed 401k is often a great place to go, but not necessary. It also could just, all you need is a traditional or a Roth 401k, which is what we do as well. So that being said, I want to share something that is near and dear to my heart, and what Dustin and Hannah just talked about. And my first deal is for those of you that are starting with nothing or don't have much. I just mentioned that almost a third of the American population has a retirement account. I also started the presentation showing a graph of going up and down. The reason why I showed that graph is because most Americans are sick of the stock market. It's an easy conversation to actually talk to somebody when looking for money, is saying, hey, look, are you sick of the ups and downs? Did you know that you can use your retirement funds or a part of your funds and invest with me or partner with me in the next real estate deal? If Dustin and Hannah came to me like, hey, Greg, did you know there's this self-directed IRA? No, I don't really know what you're talking about. Well, let me explain to you what that is. It's a way that you can use your retirement funds, and I'm speaking for Dustin now and Hannah, and partner with me. And so now all of a sudden they're sharing a message and getting partners. And guess what? Dustin and Hannah, they're going to do all the work. They're going to find the real estate. They're going to fix the real estate. They're going to flip it. They're going to deal with realtors and attorneys and all the hassle that I don't want to do. But the nice thing about it, what I do like to be involved with, is real estate. And in this case scenario, if Dustin and Hannah are talking to someone in North Carolina, it's really easy for them to be like, hey, look, I get North Carolina. I get what you're saying in real estate. That resonates with me. And so it's a lot easier to talk about real estate with people. People understand it and they want to be part of it. You can invest in Bitcoin. You can invest in gold and precious metals. Most, like I said, of our investors invest in real estate. So when looking and trying to find money, that's something that really is about educating people about this subject. When I was 22 and a half, I wasn't 23 yet. That's why I'm saying 22 and a half. I remember just trying to understand the subject the best I could, which was very still little at the time, to be able to explain to people that they have other options. That if you have a retirement account, you have other options besides just the stock market. And the other thing that's really unique about self-directing is you don't have to move all of your money. You actually could leave part of your money at Fidelity or with your financial advisor, and then move the other portion of it to a self-directed IRA account with us and start investing and testing it out in kind of things that you know and understand. Finding money is not that hard. Talking to people about the retirement account actually isn't as hard as you think either. Might get a little uncomfortable in the beginning because you're not used to it, but it's really a fun subject because people just don't know about it. Talking to people about the same thing that everyone talks about. If it's just real estate, everyone feels like they know about real estate. But if you all of a sudden introduce a new subject like self-directing, all of a sudden they might have some questions. What is this? Why haven't I heard about it? Why hasn't my advisor told me about it? I'm sick of the stock market. I'm sick of the returns. So these are all kind of the questions that you can be asking or talking about to get some, different kinds of capital and investments. If you have to be one of those individuals that are getting denied from banks or can't borrow from banks, IRAs is a great place to be looking. So it's not so hard to find money. It's all around you. A third of the people have it. Dustin, were you going to share something on that before I go to the next slide?
Yeah, a little bit. You said something about looking and trying to find money.
Yeah.
You should always be doing that, because that way you're ready for whatever deal that might pop up. Because you always, as being an investor, you always want money doing something for you. So you always need to be looking for it. That way, when something comes, you have somebody that you can call and say, "Hey, look, here's what's going on," and then you can fund that deal. And two, you're talking about advisors. We've talked to a bunch that are part of real estate like meetups that we go to here. They have no idea what we're talking about. We'll be like, "Can you sell? Is it self-directed?" Like, "Yeah, you can put it in whatever you want." I'm like, "Can I lend it to somebody?" And they're like, "Oh, no, you can't do that." And I'm like, well, so, it's just,
Yeah,
we've heard
that's
that a
that.
lot.
Yeah, that's funny. It's true. I do have a lot of people that will be like, "Oh yeah, my advisor says I can self-direct," and then I do what you said. I'm like, "Okay, well, tell them that you want to move your money and lend it on a real estate deal." They're like, "Oh no, no, you can't do that."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so look, we've been around for 14 years. Our trust company, Horizon Trust. We have over 6,500 clients with us, over $1 billion in assets that we are custody of. And so we help lots of individuals every single month get their accounts going, literally hundreds, if not thousands of transactions every single month. It's a simple process. And so, as we close here and we go to some questions and answers, this process of it being super simple is right here. If you're an individual that has a retirement account, we help you fill out the application. The app will literally help you fill it out, so you don't have to do it on your own. It's very simple. And then in the application process, we fill out a form that's basically requests the money to be transferred from wherever it's at. So like Dustin and Hannah's old 401k, we sent a form to their company, that previous company they're at, requesting the money to be sent to us at Horizon in custody of them. So we'll hold it for them. So step 2 is after you fill out the application, the money gets transferred over into your account. Now your account is funded. And once your account is funded, you then get to fill out a direction to invest form. And that's a simple form with a simple contract, meaning it could be a promissory note with our direction investment form, or an equity percentage that I might have ownership in a real estate transaction with Dustin and Hannah in this example. Using my direction investment form and that contract, you submit it to us. We then release the funds where we wire them to title or to the LLC bank account. Once the funds are sent, that's the last step. Now your money's going. I guess there should be one more step on here, which is once your money goes out, your profits and distributions come right back in to your IRA account. What's powerful about that, and why in the beginning I talked about compounding interest, is the powerful thing about making money in these kind of investments is if you can compound your interest and not pay taxes, either not pay them at all if it's a Roth, or defer your taxes, you're able to compound your profits every single year. And it's the difference of you having $1 million in your account or $2 or $3 or $4 million in your account, just by using this vehicle that teaches you and helps you avoid paying taxes and deferring it and getting compounding interest. It's a simple process. Open an account, get it funded. Once your account's funded with us, you direct your investments wherever you want to go, whatever investment that is you'd like. And then we send the funds, and then your profits and principal end up coming back to your retirement account. It's a simple, simple process. So that being said, and we're going to go to questions and answers here. And also I got a gift I'm going to give away. Is there's a link here that Claudia and Alex have put in here. You can schedule an appointment with us. Please absolutely schedule an appointment with us. It's a free consultation. We'll talk about your retirement account. But also that's my email. You can email me any questions you have. Or if you want to just schedule an appointment, you can email me as well. Old school, like Facebook, like me, not Instagram. I like email. That's easier sometimes than the link of setting appointments. I'm okay with that. Shoot me an email and say, here's the best time, and here's a couple times and days that work, and we will call you. So that being said, at Horizon Trust, it really is all about customer care. We really want to have a great experience, and if we fail at that, I want to know about it, and we'll make it better. And that happens every once in a while. But overall, really, our culture, our community is really about giving back education in a good, seamless process. And so, that being said, to kind of wrap up here, I want to give away the gift and then do some questions and answers. And so the gift I want to give, and I haven't done this before, so I'm kind of excited to see if I can do this. Is maybe someone else is going to have to do this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. New share. No, not going to do that. Maybe I'm not going to stop sharing my screen.
I feel like you need like a little drum
Just tell me to guess a number, 1 through how many ever people's on here.
Yeah, well, why don't we do something like that? So here's the gift. The gift's gonna be, and I gotta go to the end of this. The gift's gonna be, we're gonna give away a free LLC. So,
Awesome.
so look, the value of an LLC, $1,000, $2,000, and we're gonna pay the state filing fees where you live as well. So it's a free LLC, and we're going to give it, there's a checkbook LLC basically. So real quick, what that means, if you're listening here, we're going to pick a name from someone that's participating, an attendee right now, not Hannah and Dustin. Basically, let me explain what that is. Lots of our individuals that like to use the retirement accounts open and fund a retirement account with us. And after they fund their account, many individuals then invest or use their funds to invest in an LLC with their IRA, an LLC that's owned by your IRA. Now, that LLC that's owned by your IRA, you have control over. So you now have a checkbook control. And don't worry, we'll explain all this to you, especially to the winner here or anyone else that actually wants to get this. But we're going to give you an LLC for you to have a checkbook LLC that you can use with your retirement account and invest in what you want. And so before we get to questions and answers, let's give away this gift. I'm just going to have Claudia help me with this. Claudia, are you here with me?
Yeah.
So can you at random, and I guess no one's going to know if it's random or not, but I don't think you know anyone on this attendee list. So can you randomly choose on our attendee list somebody who's going to get this and that's listening and that's attendee right now? So maybe close your eyes and do your, do some kind of thumb and stop and let's go from
Hannah,
there.
how about you give me a number from
There you
1?
go.
Yeah. Well, just give me a random number from 1 to 50.
Or 100. Yeah.
Do you want to go? You go.
Go.
You got it in your head. I know you do.
I'll just go my age 40.
40.
40. All right.
We have gotta be
Oh,
perfect.
the
So
suspense
number
is
40
killing.
is somebody that has the same name as your better half, Jessica Leatherbury.
All right, Jessica got a
I'm
free
hoping that I said
LLC.
that correctly, Jessica.
All right, Jessica, make sure you put your email in there in the chat, and then Claudia will get with you to make sure you get your LLC. So congratulations. Anyone that wants to know more about checkbook LLCs, obviously will help you with that too. But let's go to some questions and answers, Claudia. And congratulations, Jessica. So, and I'm going to have Dustin and Hannah help me a little bit since I get them as guests, and that's not normal for me. So Claudia, you want to help us with is there any questions in there for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a couple of people ask the same question is, how do I invest in an annuity using my self-directed IRA?
Oh,
You
you
want me to go?
That's all you got.
I'm not even sure what an annuity is. So y'all go ahead.
I love it. I would say first and foremost, those individuals that are looking to invest in an annuity, most likely it's definitely more traditional. There's no need to go through a self-directed IRA company like ours for that. You can go direct to the direct annuity company you want to work with. And so you would move it, like let's say you're at Charles Schwab or wherever you might be right now, and you want to move into annuity. You can pick and choose and research the annuity you want to, and that company will have the documentation for you to transfer it over there. See, look at me. I'm not even trying to, this is all education. You don't have to work with me at all. So annuities, you don't need to work with us through annuities. That's the quick answer.
Perfect. Okay. And then the second question is, can they move an annuity from where they have it right now to a self-directed IRA? So that's the second part of the question.
All right, here's the selfish one, right? Now, yes, you can move, absolutely. You can move your annuities, your retirement account. So there's non-qualified and qualified annuities. And so if you have a qualified annuity, meaning an annuity that is tied to qualified funds, which are like retirement funds, you can transfer that over into a self-directed IRA. Yes. If it's non-qualified, there's no reason to do that. You could move it over, but you have to start an account from scratch. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely book an account. Book an appointment so that we can go over your specific scenario and see if we can fit. So we have somebody that says, can I take a loan out for my solo 401k to rehab a property that I want to hold as a rental?
Yes. Next question I gotta let Dustin and Hannah answer. The answer is yes. You can move. You can borrow against your solo K, your 401k, and typically, well, not typically, the rules are you can borrow up to 50% or 50,000, whichever is lesser. So let's say you have a $150,000 401k, you can borrow up to $50,000. Let's say you have a $25,000 401k, you could borrow $12,500. So you can borrow. Now you do have to pay it back. Now you pay that 401k, that loan back, in payments, typically over 5 years. What's cool about a self-directed 401k is when you pay that loan back with interest, that interest you're paying yourself back. So you get to keep that interest on your 401ks with self-directed. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how we got started.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Dustin
right.
and Hannah, this is for you guys. How
There
do
you
the
go.
funds come back into your investment account? You guys know this one.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. So the transaction, so for Dustin, right? Like the funds can't come back to Dustin and they can't vary from the actual asset that they were sent down through to go to. So they have to go directly back. So it's my understanding, and Greg can correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say you were to purchase a rental or something in your self-directed IRA, then all of the funds, the profits from that particular property would have to go back into the IRA. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And if it's a flip, the attorney's going to have to wire the funds directly back to
Right.
what is it? The
IRA.
what
Yeah.
do they call it? FBO, whatever it is. It's like they have to go straight back to the IRA. We had an issue with that one time with somebody not wanting to wire funds. So
Yeah, we had a closing
they ended up
attorney.
having to put it all in all of it in our account and then us wire it back to his IRA.
Yeah, because
So
they didn't want to send a
Okay.
wire for
Yeah.
whatever reason, but they will not, I mean, they can't receive it. An IRA cannot receive funds back unless it's wired directly back in. So hope that answers the question.
You got a
Yes,
question. This is, by the way, thank you. I was just thinking, I didn't ask you to, when I called you yesterday, I didn't say, hey, can you stop and hang with me and answer the questions? And you're doing a great job. And I'll add to that too, just like the funds have to go back. Like if my IRA funds a deal with them,
Right.
then they'll pay my IRA back. And the vesting has to be correct too, meaning
Right.
if my IRA invests with them in their, let's say in their operating agreement, it can't have my name in the operating agreement. It's going to be Horizon Trust Company, FBO, Greg's Roth
right.
account. And so vesting's important, money's
Yeah.
important
That's
going back in the retirement account. So yeah.
that was the three letters I was looking for. I knew it had to be on there somewhere.
You know, yeah.
FB. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let the attorney take care of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, and Lorenzo wants to know, so what about the rents, where do they go? So when you hold the property, renter pays you, where is that going back?
So I guess if you own the property in the IRA, if the IRA owns the property, then all of the rents, right, all of the profits have to go back, if I understand correctly.
It's a retirement account.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's there for retirement unless you can lend it to somebody that you know and you can work some different loopholes there, but
Be creative.
it's got to
with
go
it.
back to that.
We're not going to go in the loopholes today. That's another webinar.
Another call.
I will say though as well, especially for Jessica, who's going to have a checkbook LLC. If you have a checkbook LLC, and that LLC owns the rental property, what will happen is then the rental income goes into that LLC. Then that LLC can pay different bills and expenses, rental expenses, not your personal expenses, landscaping, pool, whatever, management fees. And so let's say $1,000 comes back in rent, but they have $300 in expenses. The net $700, then your checkbook LLC would write a check for $700 to Horizon Trust Company, your IRA. And so that's one way to use the checkbook LLC. And a lot of people like that because when they have rental properties, there are a lot of expenses. So that's one benefit of having a checkbook LLC.
Correct. David is asking for the conversion process. So how does it work if they want to go ahead and make a conversion from their traditional or 401k funds into Roth funds?
Claudia, I'll let you answer that one. That one happens all the time.
Yes. So the way that it would work is we would go ahead and set up a self-directed Roth IRA. It's the same as a traditional, but it's going to grow tax-free because you're paying taxes at the time of the conversion. Then we're going to take all of the funds or a portion of your traditional funds, and we're going to put them into the Roth IRA. And then you work with your CPA to make sure that you pay the taxes, or you can let us know and we'll just take it right out of the account, whichever you prefer. So we do that all the time. We did it a lot at the end of the year because people are playing with their income to make sure that they use the tools that they have. So that's definitely something that we're really, really well versed on.
And that being said, the guy that we used to borrow from, when he moved to you guys' company, you guys rushed it for him. And I don't know if there was a fee to that or whatever, but he was moving funds, and our deal was funded in like no time.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it was way faster than I thought it was going to get moved and him actually be able to lend. So it was super quick.
Yeah. So to speak to the process, it is very clear. It's very precise when it comes to the explanation of what's going on, what's needed. And they definitely walk you through step by step, and it's very quick. It moves very quickly too. So
some of the other company lets the funds go
yeah,
quickly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you guys on more often. We didn't even go over this. This is good.
David actually has a really good question, and I wanted to ask. He says, "Oops, Greg, sorry." So it's gonna be a question for you, Greg. How secure is my money in your hands? It's currently at Charles Schwab, and I feel very safe about that. No offense, but I don't feel as safe giving it to just another guy named Greg. Are my funds insured? How does it work? I thought I would give that one to you because that's a fair question.
That's a great question. Well, look, so yeah, we have the typical where you're insured FDIC, each Horizon account up to $250,000 as far as that goes. So we're licensed by the banking division of New Mexico, where we started 14 years ago. We're audited by them every single year. Our books have to be accounted for every single day, just like a bank does at the end of every day. Everything's got to be reconciled. But all of the funds, our clients' funds, are held at banks. And that insurance that basically any bank would have has the same up to $250,000. That being said, majority of our clients, the goal is to have way less than that. Because if you roll your money over to us, there's no benefit of you leaving your money just in cash with our trust company. We want you to invest those funds. So once you get those, let's say, David, and no offense taken, by the way, I understand. But I would say it's very similar to what I'm about to say now to Charles Schwab. Is that where you said he's at, Charles Schwab? Or so right now, Charles Schwab, if you were to then have them pick and invest in a mutual fund or a stock, there's no guarantees at all, right? And so if what's our man that's fighting with Mark Cuban right now, X guy, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So the more he fights, right, that could drive the stock up and down. And so there's no guarantees there. I know I'm on a little tangent here, Dave, but I do want to explain. It's very similar to Horizon Trust. If your money's sitting in trust with us, it's sitting in a bank account. Literally, Wells Fargo, the big banks, it's sitting in a bank account and it's insured. But once you decide to tell us to move that money into an investment, to lend with somebody, or to buy a stock, if you're with Charles Schwab, the risk then lies there. It's your money is just as safe as that stock, or just as safe as the investment that you invest in. So if you invest in a piece of real estate, to go a little bit longer on this, because I think it's a fair question. This is the reason why I actually like self-directing, not because Horizon Trust is stronger than or bigger than Fidelity. My money is not sitting at Horizon Trust. Most of my money is invested, and I call it rocks, not stocks. I'm invested in real estate. So my security lies in that real estate. Now, we all know real estate market fluctuates. It has even this year. But when it fluctuates just a little bit, there's still rental income. There's still equity in these projects. And so your risk, you're really transferring from Charles Schwab or the stocks that you've invested in or mutual funds that you invested in, into the decisions you make in your self-directed IRA. So that's the long answer to your question. Hopefully that answers your question, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. Couple more questions. We have a lot of movement on the chat, so that's good. So this one's about prohibited people or prohibited parties. If I bought a rental property with my self-directed IRA, who can I rent it to, and who can't live there?
Interesting. Is there stipulations to that, Greg? It's a
So
great
who pays?
question.
Yeah, there is. It's very similar to prohibited, like in this example, Dustin's IRA could buy it, Hannah could live in it. Now, I'm again not recommending that. You still should live together unless it's a bad night. So, but all joking aside, it's very similar to those rules, which is it's typically the ups and downs you can't do, meaning you can't get a rental property and have your parents stay in it or your kids stay in it. You could get a rental property and your brother could pay rent in there, but they also have to. This is also an investment. I think Dustin, you even said this. This is your retirement account, so you can't buy a rental property and then have a family member that goes the other direction that's not prohibited. You can't have them stay there for free. The IRA has to have the intention of making a return, a profit. If you don't have that intention, then that will blow up your plan as well.
So it's got to be a business.
And what we've learned from renting to people that you know personally is probably not a great idea.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we bought a
Don't do
lot
it.
of houses from those people.
Yeah.
And also we don't rent to people that we know either. We let our property management company vet everybody and let it roll. So it's probably not a great idea either way.
That's great advice. That's great advice.
Okay, then I have a question about brokerage accounts within the 401k. Can our 401ks and IRAs set up a brokerage account in the name of the self-directed IRA? The answer is yes. We have a process that lets you go ahead and do that. We have a couple companies, a couple of options that you can choose. We'll set you up. We'll set it in the name of Horizon Trust FBO, your IRA. And then from there, you'll have a portal just like Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, whatever other company that you've had in the past. And you'll be able to start buying stocks. So that's something that our clients do all the time.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
People are learning all kinds of stuff. I love this.
Did you want to do a couple more questions or do you want to wrap it up?
Let's do 2 more questions if that's all right.
Yeah,
On me.
absolutely. Can we rent out to our adult kid? No, Larry, you cannot. That a kid is in the linear heritage. No kids, grandkids, father, grandmother.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
What if you don't know? What if you don't know if they're your kid?
Oh my gosh, that's a great one.
You have to ask Hannah.
It's on you, Greg. It's on you,
This
Greg.
is why Hannah.
Greg,
This is
come
why
on
Hannah
then.
doesn't want to get married yet. This is it. Right there.
We don't
That's
have that
great.
much longer for one to come up. We've been together for 14 years, so we don't have
That's
that much
great.
longer.
That's great. We're gonna have them on as guests more often. They're great. All right. Let's do one last question. What do you got? Anything else?
Distribution. What age can I get my money back? Monica wants to ask.
Yep. You can take distributions from your account at age 59 and a half. So once you're 59 and a half, you can take it all out. You can take pieces of it out, whatever you want, but you do have to start having them. I think the rules went up now to 71 and a half, maybe even 72 in 2024. So yeah, so it's, you can start taking 59 and a half. And so look, I'm gonna wrap up. It's been an hour. Claudia, you can answer any other last questions maybe on there, but I will say, please set an appointment. We truly are a small community boutique firm doing it for a very long time. And I appreciate Dave's questions. We do care, and as small as we are, we're pretty big. We've got a really big, robust team, over 40 employees that work with our 6,500 accounts. And it's really important to have a great service. So your investments are as safe as you choose them to be. And if you want to just tippy toe in the water and do 1 or 2 deals, you absolutely should. Set an appointment, get with us. How about we give a little love to Dustin and Hannah? If you're still on here, I know a lot of you just dropped off, but give them a little love on there. Thanks
Nice
for
to
joining.
see you.
Yeah,
Good to see you
you
too.
guys too.
Yeah, thanks for being on here, guys. You guys are
Absolutely.
great.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great night and Happy New Year.
See you. Happy New Year, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.